What's left on your to-do list before you finally love yourself? I just finished How to ADHD by Jessica McCabe. It's my 7th book about ADHD. It's recommended by Ned Hallowell, who wrote this book about ADHD and also this book about it. The final chapter has an idea that stuck out to me and applies to anyone, anyone's concept of self-love, doesn't even matter what kind of brain you have. The most successful, this is a quote, the most successful people aren't the ones who get good at what they're bad at. They are the ones who lean into their strengths. I'm not a doctor, but from what I've learned about ADHD, there are 2 elements to the treatment for a lot of people. One element is medication, which works for lots of folks, including myself, and another is psychoeducation, learning about how your brain works and working within that brain that you have, the system that you are in. But neither of these things is a cure. Neurodiversity isn't something that can be cured because diversity isn't something that can be cured. To want to cure diversity is basically eugenics. There's no cleaner way to say it than that. If you're here, you probably already know what eugenics is, but on the off chance that you don't, eugenics is the underpinning philosophy of some of the worst genocides in history. The philosophy that you need to move towards like purity, racial purity. That's often the excuse for dropping bombs on people or putting them in gas chambers. But in a much less severe way, to a much less intense degree, I have internalized some of that mindset in how I expect myself to respond to my own ADHD. I got the diagnosis, and I need to just fix myself in order to fit myself into the box that the rest of the world wants me to fit in. This is an incorrect way to understand neurodiversity based on the last chapter of this book. Dorothy Roberts and Ruha Benjamin and Lulu Miller are the scholars and reporters who all taught me the most about the concept of eugenics in our history. So incidentally, Walter Johnson and Robin Wall Kimmerer also go into this. All 5 of these books are recommended, and I'll leave them in my reading list. But to paraphrase some of their insights, you cannot fully recognize the extent of eugenics in the world until you can recognize the extent of eugenics in your own interior life. Part of decolonizing the world is decolonizing your mind. And part of that is recognizing that there are elements about you that do not need to be fixed. You don't need to fix your ADHD because your brain isn't broken, it's just different. Chapter 6 of Kate Mann's book, Unshrinking, on Fatphobia, explains this from a different angle. Many people have the experience of not being able to control their weight because they cannot, because the human condition is not something that can be cured. We don't have absolute control over the world because we don't even have absolute control over our own bodies. Our mission isn't to fix ourselves, it is to accept ourselves and to build a world where we all fit. Happy reading.